Hi, I'm John Twist of University Motors. It's been a couple of weeks since we made a video. Our videographer's been in school and on vacation, but he says he's going to be here during the Christmas vacation. So maybe we can get some more videos made, maybe stack them up and make up for some lost time. Today I want to talk for a few moments about kingpins, actually stub axles, from a T-type or an MGA. Now here's a kingpin from the left-hand side of a T-type, TD or TF. We know that because the thread out here is 5/8 14, which is a Whitworth or a BSF form. And we know that because the hole going into the inside of here to hold the steering arm is very small. So this, in fact, is the right front kingpin for a T-type or an MGA. We'll see that the thread is a right-hand thread. And if you look at that thread carefully, you'll see that it rises to the right, hence a right-hand thread. So you're turning the nut clockwise. The reason for this is when it's on the side of the car and the wheel's going around like this, if something goes wrong and the bearing starts to jam up, you want the nut to get tighter rather than looser. So the thread on the right-hand side of the car is right hand, the thread on the left-hand side of the car is a left-hand thread. Our next example is the MGA 1500. This has got a 3/4 16 thread on the end. This one is got a reverse thread. This is a left-hand thread, and perhaps you can see here that the thread rises to the left, hence the left-hand thread. And that means that when it's on this side of the car and the wheel is going around like this, if something jams up, it tends to tighten the nut. That system was dropped with the MGA twin cam and with the MGB. Instead, there's a washer with a tag on it, and everything's just a standard right-hand thread. But this is MGA, and this is an MGA 1500. See, this hole just barely accepts my little finger. This is for the steering arm, and this is in contrast to the MGA 1600, which has got a very much larger hole in it for the steering arm. So these are the three types. We've got the T-type with the 5/8 14 thread, okay, in a relatively small hole for the steering arm. And then we've got the MGA 1500 with a 3/4 16 thread and a relatively small hole for the steering arm. And then we've got the MGA 1600 in Mark II, but not twin cam. And that's got a hole that's so big my finger goes all the way through it. This still carries the 3/4 16 thread. And remember that between one side of the car and the other, here are the two side by side, the threads are reverse or left hand on the left-hand side of the car and standard right hand on the right side of the car. I should probably have these around the other way, but imagine that you're looking at the car from the front. So that's today's quick lesson about MGA and T-type stub axles. Hey, I want to tell you we're really excited. We have a new, we believe we have a new format for presenting technical information, but we're investigating that. We'll have more about that around the first of the year. I want to remind everybody that our birthday party's coming up. If you haven't received our University Motors news, our e-newsletter, please send a note to Mike. Actually, you can send it to e-news, E-N-E-W-S, at universitymotorsltd.com. You can always call, but it's easier if you just send a note to e-news. Or you can send a note to me, John Twist, at universitymotorsltd.com, and we'll get you on the email distribution list so you can get our University Motors news. which will have all kinds of information and contacts and links and all kinds of good stuff. So even though it is, well, it's still raining today, it's supposed to be white tomorrow, we'll see, but it's still barely MG driving weather. I think we've got a guy picking up his MGB today, is going to drive it home. But over the course of the next month or two, it's going to get pretty cold around these climates. So this is the time for winter storage, which was the subject for our last e-newsletter. So send us your email address and we'll send you notes about MG storage. And until then, safety fast.